Change lives, change organizations, change the world. The slogan of this school and a testament to how much this university loves change. So much so, they have to say the word change 3 times in the same slogan as if you're going to forget. It's an important thing. And in many ways, we're all here because we want to be those change agents. I know I do, because I'm a product of that change. 20 years ago, I was living in broken homes to broken home. I couldn't eat every day. I had terrible grades, and adults would tell me things like college, a career, standing on stage, delivering a speech are not for people like you. And to them, I say, look at me now. It is amazing to be here, to talk in front of all of you, and I would have never dreamed it, to be someone who couldn't change himself to someone who can now change lives, change organizations, and change the world. And that's what I set out to do my first year. I wanted to bring what I thought was the secret sauce to my success, my change, and bring it to places in the world that didn't have it. And so what I did was, I said it was education. I did my research, I looked all around the world, and I found a place in northeast India called West Bengal, where the average income of families is $600 a year, where nobody gets past the 8th grade, and the average life expectancy is 32. 32. And I said the biggest problem they have is education. So I think I did what anyone would do. I bought a 50-seater bus, I tore it apart, I put a classroom inside of it, and I drove it into the jungles of West Bengal and started to teach out of it. But they teach you in strategy, right? And so I wanted to first, though, before I started teaching, get the permission of the village leadership. And so the pilot village I worked in, Tepantar, there's a man named Kalol. I explained to him what I was doing, and he said, wait, let me show you something. He took me outside of his house to the center of the village. There's this bronze statue. And he said, a villager made this because this is what we are told education is. And it's an image I think that's familiar to a lot of us. It's the evolution of man. You know that image that we all start out as primates, and we slowly evolve to upright man? Makes sense, right? It's progress. Of course it's education. But the funny thing about what this sculptor did in this village was he added a step. To say where humankind was going, where superior human beings were going to be. And beyond upright man, it's hunched over, typing away at a computer at an IT job. Right? So all of you are laughing. Like, when was the last time you were in a library looking at a guy making an Excel sheet and was like, yep, evolved guy, right? Like, that's superior right there. And as much as it's funny, the thing about this village is they're dead serious. And so Kalol started to explain to me, this is what we're told. IT is our salvation. And you're not the first person to come and try and provide us education. In fact, so many have before, but they always get it wrong because they never answer the question, what happens after the kids get educated? Where do they go? Everyone is telling us IT is the solution, but in a 50-kilometer radius around this village, there's not a single IT resource available. And so I asked him, is there any cases? Have anybody made it before? And he said one. And I looked at that, and I know it was out of desperation and sadness, but I heard it as inspirational. One, well, let's figure out what this kid did, everything, and make sure everyone knows that, and then this problem will be solved. And so luckily, his parents were in this village of Tepantar, and I went to interview them. I said, what did your son do? I want to know everything. What did he study? How did he study? And his father looked at me, he said, I don't know. And not only that, but he said, I'm not supposed to know. Because my son is now in a better place. And I'm a craftsman, and I'm proud of it. And that's what supported my family and generations before me. But it doesn't make any money today, and people are telling us it doesn't. So anything I want to keep my son here, to teach him my ways, to teach him the heritage of our family, it's only going to hold him back. And so the best thing I can do for him is to let him go. And when I heard that, it hurt a lot. And I didn't understand why, because I don't even know this kid. But what I do know is he's a role model. He's what everyone should be. He is smart, he is talented, he's driven, he made it. Everyone should be like him. And why? I couldn't figure it out until I realized that kid's me. Because 30 years ago, I didn't grow up in rural India, but my village was China. And at that time, my parents wanted desperately to get out because they went through a history of terrible things happening. And they were lucky enough to be one of the ones to set foot in America and start anew in the land of prosperity. And the first thing they wanted was they wanted to give birth to a child so he can live up in this prosperity, and that was me. But shortly after I was born, they had to go back to China for a variety of reasons. And so they were left with the tough decision of either keeping the family together, but take me back to a country that will forever limit my potential, or to keep me with unlimited potential, but to rip away the family. And just like that family in Tepentar, my parents chose prosperity. And as much as it hurts to not be around them, to never know if you're going to see them again, in some ways they were right in that decision. Right? I'm standing here. When I said, "Look at me now," everyone applauded. That I can be this person who changes lives, changes organizations, and changes the world. But to get there, I had to change my friends, change my family, and change my home over and over again, and be proud of it, because that's change. Now imagine if that were the slogan of this school. Stanford University, change your friends, change your family, change your home. Right? I mean, I didn't get the best grades in marketing, but I can tell you, not inspirational, right? But that's what happened. And I don't say that because I want to change the slogan of this school. It's done wonders. It's an amazing slogan. But what I do propose is a slogan for our lives, especially as we leave this school and get out there to pursue our careers. To not always be so obsessed with change, to be disruptive, but to take on the challenge of simply to keep. To keep your friends, to keep your family, and to keep your home. Thank you.